trajectory of this country, what do you think Obama's legacy is going to be?
Well, I predicted in 2008 in one of my columns, and I was predicting that Obama administration would be a failed administration, failed president, just like Jimmy Carter's is. But some people are saying that Obama's beginning to make Jimmy Carter look good. But the point is that Obama is following a trend in our country, and he's just accelerated that trend.
Right.
That is, you found during the Bush administration, you found all kinds of ignoring the Constitution. You found the No Child Left Behind. You found the prescription drugs and all these other programs that happened during the Bush administration. So we've been on this path away from the Constitution, away from personal liberty for quite a while. And so the real challenge is, the real question for the future of our country is, can we reverse it? And there's some question whether it's reversible.
Let me ask you this question. I want to get into your new book, American Contempt for Liberty. If we don't, studying history as you've done, if we don't reverse the course we're on, how long do you think this country has left? Because it's degenerating fast.
Well, I don't know, but people have asked me, what can we do? And I asked them, well, are Americans anyway basically different as human beings from the Romans, from the French, from the Spanish, from the Portuguese, from the British? Now, these are great empires of the past, powerful empires of the past, but they went down the tubes. And so, and they went down the tubes for precisely the kind of things that we're doing, that is bread and circuses, big government spending programs. So there's a real question whether Americans will find a different fate. You find a country just like Argentina. Argentina is a basket case, but in 1940
exactly.
or the 1930s, it was among the 10 richest countries in the world.
It was absolutely, and then they got into big government, they got into deficits, and now it's a hellhole.
That's right. That's right. They got into socialism. A lot of the decline it was accelerated during the Perones, and socialism is when socialism takes over, a country does not have much hope.
The saying was as rich as an Argentine, and now people don't even know what that means. It is so sad to see them wreck this. And I saw a statistic today that even the middle class is shrinking fast, and that even the ultra wealthy are paying so many taxes that they're having trouble saving. And then France now has 100% tax, Forbes reported, on their wealthier people, forcing them to leave the country. What do the socialists think is going to happen when they're all gone, Dr. Williams?
Well, the rather remarkable thing, throughout our entire history, we've been the place where people have run to avoid high taxes, to avoid oppression. Now, people are leaving the United States. That is, wealthy money
record
is
numbers.
leaving the United States, going to the islands, banking in other countries, and going to Liechtenstein and other places to put their money. And so we're going in the direction, I don't know at what speed, but we're going in the direction of the other countries that have adopted socialistic policies.
Walter E. Williams, I know you support law and order. I support the rule of law as well. But the over-militarization accelerated under Obama now. All these training manuals where they say the big enemy of the Pentagon is the Tea Party veterans, gun owners. I'm sure you're aware of that. If not, I can play you some news clips where they say, we need the MRAP tanks for the veterans when the veterans aren't out there doing anything. What do you think of this attempt by the Democrats to basically turn the military into a domestic tool?
Yeah, well, it's that's what socialism needs. That in order for government to be able to impose its will, it needs force, because a lot of people will not go along with it voluntarily. And then also, if you notice that the very people in our country who are the most anti-gun or anti-Second Amendment, they are the very people who are trying to take over our lives.
They're the ones armed to the teeth. They're the ones with bodyguards like Michael Moore, but you and I, we can't have a gun.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And the point is, what a lot of Americans do not know is that the founders of our nation, they did not give us the Second Amendment in order for us to go deer and duck hunting. They explicitly said And it's in my column this week. They explicitly said that we want the American people to be armed as a last resort against the betrayal of their freedom by their representatives and rulers.
Wow, we got one final segment after this quick break with Walter E. Williams, walterewilliams.com. His books are all bestsellers. They're complex, they're historical, but they're also an easy read. I'd give them to your high school kids, you name it. It's just so important. I just gave Rush's book to my daughter, who's 10, The Brave Pilgrims, to get a more accurate perspective on what's going on. There's an attack on any type of Americana culture. Certainly America's got a lot of bad in our past, but our ideals were the greatest, and we made the greatest strides. That's why the system's attacking it. What they're replacing it with, as Dr. Williams said, is a bunch of Roman bread and circuses. I'm going to have a wild card here. I'm going to have him come back in the last 6 minutes and kind of cover whatever he wants to cover. I've been asking the questions so far. WalterEWilliams.com, and you, of course, can find his column in many newspapers around the country, or you can request that it be in your paper as well. Stay with us.
Finally, a hard rock album that actually says something. Envy, the self-titled CD.
We all live in a world today where things aren't what they seem. And if you think the news is real, you're living in a... Represent who cuts the checks, fulfill the corporate. I can't stand this no more. I don't want to give my freedom away. Everything, all we see, all that we are led to believe, lies that we all must eat. Doesn't matter who you vote for, it only matters what you buy.
Available on iTunes or Amazon.com. Visit envymusic.com.
Monetary controls.
Who has over 65 seed varieties of 34 different vegetables?
Down to Earth.
Who has over 63,000 seeds packaged to last 50 years?
Down to Earth.
Whose seeds can be frozen to maintain germination?
Down to Earth seeds. No hybrids, no GMOs, just proven old-time seed varieties grown all over the country by our grandparents. Our kids have the best variety and the largest quantities of vegetable seed for the best price. Get your food security now at downtoearthseeds.com or call 870-427-3039.
CatieArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Katie offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to CatieArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CatieArmor.com. Come and take it.
Communist China freely allows the sale of bulletproof armor plates, while our U.S. politicians argue from banning Americans from owning body armor.
Does that sound right to you?
Arm your American body at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
We will not be forgotten. We won't be left behind. Our memories live on in mortal mind. And poetry will rise again.
Well, he's Professor Dr. Walter E. Williams, walterewilliams.com. And he's on with us, broadcasting worldwide. In the 6 minutes we've got left, sir, there's so many subjects we could cover, but I'd like to give you the floor to host the show here for a moment and get into what you think is the heart of the matter.
Well, well, one of the things I think that I always tell people say, well, what do you try to do, Walter? Well, I say I'm trying to sell our fellow Americans on the moral superiority of individual freedom and personal liberty, and its main ingredient, limited government. And it's rather surprising what has happened to our country. And just let me give you an idea when I say that there's a lot of contempt for the United States Constitution and contempt for the ideas of liberty. In 1794, Congress appropriated $15,000 to help some French refugees. James Madison, the acknowledged father of the United States Constitution, the father of the Constitution, and a former president, he stood on the floor of the House irate, and he said, and I'm virtually quoting him, he says, I cannot undertake to lay my finger on that article in the Constitution that authorizes Congress to spend the money of their constituents for the purposes of benevolence. Now, if you look at the federal budget today, 2/3 to 3/4 of it is for the purpose of benevolence. And you ask the question, and also Madison said, charity is not a function of government. Now, any person running for the presidency today who would make the same statement that James Madison, as well as other founders, made, the American people would run them out of town on the rail. That is, the American people have contempt for the great ideas and the great ideas of liberty that made us the richest and the freest country in the world. And you know, to give you another example, if I said, if I'm running for the governor, if I'm running for the Senate in Texas, and I go back and forth across the state, and I say, look, my fellow Texans, I've read the United States Constitution. I know what the Constitution authorizes. I know what Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution says. If you elect me to the Senate, don't expect for me to bring back aid to higher education, highway construction, prescription drugs, and all these other programs. The question is, do you think the people of Texas would elect me to the United States Senate?
Texas might, but probably only 2 or 3 other states. But it'd be a fight. I think Texas understand that we would just keep all of our money here and decide to do what we would want to do instead of giving the feds all the control. But most states should be voted out, though.
Well, see, I think that if I as senator don't bring back money to Texans, it doesn't mean that Texans will pay a lower federal income tax. All that it means is that the money will go to Oklahoma instead. That is, once legalized theft begins, it pays for everybody to participate.
No, you're right. So we can't get out of it because our money will just go somewhere else.
That is absolutely right. And so that's the tragedy of in our country, that it pays for people to engage in legalized theft. That is, it pays for people to use the power of their office, it pays for people to elect people who will use the power of their office to take what belongs to one American and bring it back to them.
They have wired fraud into the system, and now they're just expanding it. What about Obama saying he may raise taxes by executive power?
Well, he has no constitutional authority to do that. And then, a lot of people say, well, look, the Bush tax cuts, the Bush tax increases, the Obama tax increases. According to the Constitution, the president has no taxing and spending authority.
That's right.
Only the Article 1 gives Congress the taxing and spending authority. That is, the president cannot spend one dime that Congress does not first appropriate.
Walter Williams, amazing. WalterEWilliams.com. Hope you'll come back soon. Have a great weekend, sir.
Thank you.
I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. live, Lord willing. Great job, crew. Don't lose tonight, 7.
GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.